Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, this is going to be our chapter 8, which is International Working Capital Management. This chapter is quite different with the previous chapter, where the previous chapter we learn about translation, economic and also transactional exposure. At the transaction, you come out with the decision where to invest and where to borrow based on account receivable or account payable. But this chapter 8 is quite different with the previous chapter, where you only need to come up with decision where to borrow. Either you need to borrow in home or where either you borrow foreign. Okay, for you to come up with decisions, you need to have a strategy. Okay, you need to come up with the strategy. We look into the three key factors. First factor is international efficiency fact, like involve the inflation interest rate. Yeah, either that country having a high inflation rate or high interest rate, because the high inflation and interest rate will contribute to the currency performance. It's really not so good. Okay, so the two key factors is the interest rate parity. Either the covered interest arbitrage exists or not exists. If the covered interest arbitrage exists, means the cost in a home and the cost in a foreign is definitely unequal. Means you need to come up with decisions where to borrow, and either you need to borrow in home or foreign, which can give a cheaper cost of borrowing. And the third key factor is the political risk. Yeah, okay, you need to look into these three factors to consider the short-term borrowing. Okay. Okay, uh, we look into factor number one, which is consider about the international efficiency fact. Is there any deviation from international efficiency fact? We look into uh, either the inflation rate is a high, interest rate very high, because if the inflation and interest rate high, so it will contribute to the poor performance of the currency value. So rule of thumb say, if yes, if the international efficiency fact exists, so means the trade-off required between cost and exchange risk. If the IFE not exists, means the costs are same everywhere, so why should we make a decision? Because the borrowing are same, either we borrow from home or we borrow from foreign. Okay, factor number two, we should look into the interest rate parity, either interest rate parity whole or not whole. If yes, means the currency is irrelevant. If no, if the interest rate parity whole is not, means the cover cost may differ. Yeah, so means we are not whole the interest rate parity, uh, means the cover interest arbitrage exists. So the decision we should do, either we should borrow from home or we should do from borrow from foreign. Yeah. Okay, for factor number three, we should consider into the political risk. If high, so the MNC should maximize the local financing, yeah, by borrowing a local, because we don't want to portray a lot of risk that go into the international or by go abroad. So we should face with the confiscations or the currency control and fewer assets at risk. um, when we talk about the risk, we have a systematic risk and unsystematic risk. Something that you cannot control, risk that you cannot control, we call as a systematic risk. For example, economic risk, or something that relate with the macroeconomic variables or economic factors which you cannot control. For example, the inflation, the interest rate, the unemployment rate, the political risk, the economic risk. Yeah, you cannot control. Okay, when we talk about unsystematic risk, it's something or risk that you can control. For example, the management risk, yeah, the operational risk, yeah. So, and again, we go back into the rule of thumb, high risk and high return, and uh, further for us to be more stable and more established in the international market, definitely we need to consider into the risk. Yeah, because we should not to tolerate to the country that can give a tremendous risk, because it can give a tremendous impact to our balance sheet and income statement. Definitely for MNC, they need to have a short-term financing objective. Whatever it is, the short-term financing objective, we must have a very possible objectives. Yeah, first and foremost, we definitely want to minimize the expected cost, because if our cost is reduced, so definitely we can enhance our return of our profit. And we should minimize the risk without regard to cost, because lower the cost, definitely we can bring up the return or bring up the profit. Low risk, we can have a very tremendous profit at the same time. Yeah. Okay, it's a very important for us to make our decisions. We need to know how to calculate a cost of borrowing, or definitely we need, first and foremost, we need to know how to calculate the effective interest rate, or we call as a EIR. Yeah, the very basic formula for EIR is annual interest rate, which is the interest amount per year we divide with the fund received. Yeah, that's a very basic idea. So we have actually we have a four types of the way for us to calculate the EIR. First thing is a simple interest. Second is a discount. Third is a compensating. And the fourth one is combination between the discount and also compensating. Okay, first type is a simple interest. Okay, look into this question. Prologic company receive a loan for 10,000 at 11% interest payable and maturity at the end of 1 year. What is the EIR? Okay, to calculate based on the simple interest, the above, you need to get the interest amount by 11% times with the 10,000 and then divide with the loan amount, which is a 10,000. So your EIR would be 11%. Definitely, if we are calculate the simple interest, your EIR will be uh, likely the same with the interest payable. All right. But the second way to calculate EIR is through the discounting the loan. Yeah, it will mention the how many you receive a loan, 10,000 at 11% on a discounted basis. Yeah, what is the EIR? Again, EIR equivalent to this one is the interest amount. Yeah, 11% times with the 10,000. At the bottom, the loan amount, which is a 10,000, you minus with the interest amount, which is 1,100. So you will get 12.4%. Okay, the third way is through the compensating balance. The question will give you the loan amount, the interest amount with the compensating rate. Yeah, this question give you a 15% compensating balance. So what is the EIR? So the EIR again equal to the interest amount 11% times with 10,000 at the bottom, the loan amount 10,000. You need to minus with the compensating amount 15% times with the 10,000, you will get 1,500. So your EIR would be 12.9%. The fourth way is through the compensating balance on a discounted loan, or we call as combination of compensating and discount loan. The question will give you loan amount, interest amount on a discounted basis and a compensating rate, which is a 15%. So again, EIR equivalent to interest amount 11% times with the 10,000. You divide with loan amount minus with the interest amount 1,100 and minus with 1,500. So you will get a 14.9%. Okay, now we move to the most crucial part in chapter 8, which is actually is a very easy and most of the student will score during the final question, yeah, in final exam. So um, just like I said on my first slide, I mentioned that this chapter only need to come out decision where we want to borrow, either we want to borrow home or foreign. Okay, first thing foremost, you need to calculate the C. What C means? C is a change. How to calculate C? Equivalent to E1 divide minus EO divided with EO. Okay, the rule of thumb. Yeah, you must make sure that your E1 and EO in a home currency. Okay, if the question give you in a foreign currency, you need to do a reciprocal to get E1 and EO in home currency to calculate the C. If you not convert foreign to home to calculate the C, definitely your answer will wrong from A to C. Okay, remember, make sure your E1 and EO, your spot and your future must in a home. Alright. So after we kira the C, we kira the before tax cost of borrowing abroad, or I tulis the abbreviation BTCOB foreign currency. For your information, before tax cost of borrowing abroad only have for a foreign. We should not calculate before tax cost of borrowing home. Tak ada. So only foreign. Itu pun kalau question ask for a foreign. Alright. So before tax cost of borrowing foreign, the formula is RFC, rate for a foreign. We times with 1 plus C plus C. So students must make sure that if your C is positive, if you E1 minus EO divided with O is a positive. So when you calculate the before tax ini, you masukkan in the formula, you'll get also 1 plus C plus C. But if you kira the C, you get the minus. So you must make sure that 1 plus minus C, it will get 1 minus C minus C. After we compute the before tax cost of borrowing foreign, we compute the after tax cost of borrowing foreign, yeah, after tax. So the question must give you the tax rate, yeah. So for you to make a decision where to borrow and where to invest, you need to calculate the after tax cost of borrowing foreign and also after tax cost of borrowing home. You cannot make decision with the before tax, yeah, only for after tax home and after tax foreign, okay. So you use the abbreviation ETCOBFC equivalent to RFC times 1 plus C times 1 minus T plus C. T stand for a tax rate. And number 4, after tax cost of borrowing home. Yeah, home. ATCOBHC. This is RHC times with 1 minus T plus CT. Again, if your C at step 1 you get minus. So after conversion, this one you will 1 minus C. Also this one plus, minus CT. Okay, after we compute the after tax cost of borrowing foreign and home, we make a decision. Okay, where to borrow. Okay, if your AT after tax home much cheaper, the amount is smaller than your foreign, so better we borrow from home. Yeah, if your after tax cost of borrowing foreign is much cheaper than home, so better we borrow from foreign. Okay, or vice versa. So that's how we make a decision. Always when we make a decision to borrow, definitely we will pilih the decision that can give us a cheaper or the cheapest borrowing rate. Yeah. So after that, if the question asks you to calculate the indifferent, you need to calculate the C break even. Yeah, C star. Yeah, C star equivalent to RHC minus RFC divided with 1 plus RFC, and proceed with the indifferent E1 equal to EO1 plus C star. Okay, I always advise my student, after you come up with decision, you you can give an extra effort by calculate the C star. Why? Because we can justify or mitigate our answer at the above. Means if the above decision you want to borrow home, you must make sure that like this, you must make sure that your C star must cheaper than your C at the first step. So by doing that, you can check back your decision, either your decision is correct or not correct. Yeah. So let's say at C you get 0.01, and when you calculate the C star you get 0.001. So means C star is much lower than C. So decision at first you said to borrow home, and then when you calculate the C star is much cheaper than C. So means it's true, your decision is borrow home. Let's say if you calculate after tax and then you make decision to borrow home, but after you calculate the C star, your C star is much besar than your C, means we should borrow from foreign. So something not right with your calculation, and you should check back your calculation. Okay, so uh indifferent, what indifferent uh task force. So indifferent or E1, we want to calculate because we want to make sure that uh, that there is an existence of the break even of the forward. What are supposed to be the forward rate or the future rate in the future to make conditions is break even. So when the condition is break even, so we should not come up with decision because the cost is same everywhere. Yeah. Okay, guys, look into this formula. Sorry, the question. Yeah, question number one. Okay, let's say the MNC faced alternative financing decisions on whether to borrow at home or abroad. Suppose a US firm located in Brazil. Okay, the question already give you a highlight US firm, so we should take note US is a home, Brazil is a foreign, and you must make sure that quotation that give you in a USD instead of Brazil, because I said rule of thumb we must make sure that our E1 and EO in a home, which is in the question in a USD. Okay, so this one would be your RHC because US is a your home, so this is gonna be your RHC, this is gonna be your RFC 3.5%. So okay, look into this one. EO, they give you in a Brazil, okay, they give you in a Brazil against USD. So what you are supposed to do with this one, you need to do a reciprocal, okay, 1 over 2.2828 for you to get in a USD value. Also this E1, okay, they give you in Brazil, so you need to do a reciprocal 1 over 2.2586. All right. Okay, the question asks you to calculate the after-tax cost of borrowing foreign and asks you to make a decision where to borrow cheaper and proof decision. Even though the question not ask you to calculate the after-tax cost of borrowing home, you cannot come up with decision without calculate after-tax home and foreign. Okay, so you should calculate both, yeah, both to make a decision and say which one is cheaper. And then this one, they ask you to calculate the indifferent E1. You cannot calculate the E1 without the C star, C breakeven. Okay? Okay, first thing foremost, we need to receive the Brazil for EO because the rule of thumb, we must make sure that E1 and EO in a home currency. So that's why EO equivalent to 1 over 2.2828. So I will get 0.4381 for USD against Brazil. And for E1, 1 divided with 2.2586, I will get 0.4428. And then before I proceed with after-tax cost of borrowing home or foreign, I need to calculate the C first, C, yeah? So after I receive, I must calculate my change. C equivalent to E1 minus EO divided with EO. So I put 0.4428 minus 0.4381 divided with 0.4381. So my C in a positive amount 0.0107. Okay, before I proceed to calculate the after-tax home and foreign, I put down my RHC equivalent to 3.75%. Yeah, my RFC equivalent to 3.5%, and my tax rate would be 28%. Okay, so I start to cure the after-tax cost of borrowing foreign at Brazil. So RFC times 1 plus C times 1 minus T plus C. So I put all the things and then I get after tax cost of borrowing foreign, my answer is 0.0362. Yeah. And then I calculate the after tax cost of borrowing home. Okay, RHC times 1 minus T plus CT. Okay, so I put all the things 0.0375 times 1 minus 0.28. I resolve this one first plus 0.0107 times with 0.28 and then I plus with this kind of things. So I will get the home 0.0300. So my decisions better I borrow home because my cost of borrowing is much cheaper than foreign. Yeah. Okay. So this is my decision. I borrow home. Since the question asked me to calculate the indifferent, I calculate my C break-even or C star, RHC minus RFC divided with 1 plus RFC. So I put all the things 0.0375 minus 0.035 plus divide with 1 plus 0.035, I get 0.0024. So I just counter back my decision. Is it true? My decision is borrow home. And then I check. My C star is 0.0024. So means my C star is much cheaper or lesser than my C because my C only 0.0107. So go back to the notes. If my C star is lower than my C, so it means better I borrow home. So it's true, better I borrow home. So my calculation at the above is slightly correct. So I proceed with my calculation to calculate the E1, which is indifferent, equivalent to EO1 plus C break even. So I put 0.4381 my spot and I times with 1 plus C star 0.0024, then I will get 0.4392. Okay, if you calculate, you put this 0.4392 in the C formula, which means you calculate the changes using the indifferent the E1, yeah, you will get slightly the same answer with the C break even. Okay, means 0.4392 you minus with 0.4381, you divide with 0.4381, you will get 0.0025, slightly the same with the C break even. Okay, that means the cost is same everywhere. You no need to make a decision if your E1 indifferent is 0.4392. Okay, try to do this question number 2. Okay, this is you need to do a reciprocal. Why I say so? Because the question already give you prolonged Malaysia, so you should not alert that. You should alert that Malaysia is your home. So by looking into the quotation, quotation give you in RM. So your RM is a home, USD is a foreign. So no need to do a reciprocal. Yeah, just proceed with the C, and then they ask you to calculate the before tax cost of borrowing abroad and proceed with the after tax cost of borrowing home and foreign to come up with a decision. All right. Okay, also do question number 3. This is slightly different. Yeah, because they give you a loan amount which is 100 million for 1 year to finance its operation in KL. This is US firm. So bear in mind, US is your home, RM is your foreign. It has the option to borrow locally. Yeah, the current BLR is 3.5%. The bank loans also requires a 5% compensating balance on loan amount. They ask you to calculate the EIR. Okay. I will explain this through my visual class about this question. Okay, they ask you to, the firm is also contemplation to borrow home currency with charges on the annual interest of 5.5%. The current exchange rate is RM, yeah, so you first and foremost, you need to do a reciprocal because the EO given in RM, whereas the RM is your foreign. Okay, do a reciprocal first, receipt, yeah, receipt. Okay, same with this one, and this rate is expected to appreciate too. This one also you need to do a reciprocal. Okay, for for E1, yeah. Okay, and this one is your tax rate, your T, and then they ask you to determine the ERR of loan borrowing in Malaysia. So they ask you to calculate the RFC. How to calculate using the EIR formula? Okay. Uh, uh, Using what type, you need to depend, you need to look back into this question, either they are using the simple or the discount or the compensating or the mixture of the compensating and discount. Yeah, after you calculate, you kira the C and then start with the after tax home, after tax foreign, and then come up with decision. Okay, do also for question number 4. Okay, very easy. Landmark Malaysian company located in London, so we should note that Malaysia is your home and British pound is your foreign. So the quotation already give you in home, so no need to do a reciprocal. Just proceed to kira the C, yeah, the C. So this one is RHC, this one is RFC, this one is your T. Okay, after you kira all the things, you make a decision where to invest and where to borrow, and not salah if you kira the C break even to justify or mitigate your answer is it true or not, because if the C break even is lower than your C, you should borrow home and vice versa. Alright, so till then I'll see you in a visual class. So this is my second time recording. I'm quite exhausted. I don't know what happened to my last slides. My voice is all missing. Okay, all my suaras converted to only to image. So I really hope that you guys understand it. Keep repeating this video, understand, and please do the exercise and just look into the sample of the past year question plus with the answer scheme that I already gave you through the telegram. Yeah, so I really hope that you guys understand. This is gonna be our second last chapter and we only have one chapter to go. All right, thank you very much. I pray the best only for you. Pray the same to me, for me, yeah. Okay, I till then I end with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.